Hello, good morning. Welcome to another video from TW White & Sons. Okay, here we have today a Mazda 2. This is the 90 PS Sport model. Okay, now this car was registered on the 31st of January 2020, so it is actually a 2020 car. We sold it new, we've always serviced it. I've got the service history in the car to share with you, and this is one of the SKYACTIV-G models. So when you're looking at these cars, some of these, in fact a lot of these, won't be this particular model with the SKYACTIV-G engine on a 69 plate. They'll be the previous model with the 5-speed gearbox. So when you are comparing cars, please do make sure you're comparing this to a SKYACTIV-G model. There you go, look, the little label on the back there. So this has a 6-speed gearbox and a mild hybrid engine. It also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, amongst all the other standard features, which we'll go through in more detail just in a moment. Now this is presented in deep crystal blue. Now these are like the best of the best Mazda 2s. They've been around since, when have these been around? Since 2007 in this shape. 2007? Yes, 2000. No, I'm being silly. Later than that. So and they've gone through a few transitions. These have been around since 2015, right? So there's sort of 8 years. So the last of the old shape were 2015. Yeah, that's when these came out. And these were with equipped with Mazda SKYACTIV engines. God, I completely lost track of time there. And they are super fuel efficient. And then what Mazda have done, they put a 6-speed gearbox now with the 90 PS engine and the mild hybrid, giving you fuel efficiency that you won't believe. Now this car, even just doing sort of round town and whatnot, I had a check earlier, this car's been averaging 49 miles per gallon. Now bearing in mind this is a 4-cylinder engine. This isn't one of these silly 3 cylinders that a lot of manufacturers are using, which I personally think don't drive well. Now don't get me wrong, we do sell those cars because we get lots of them in part exchange, but I don't think they've got the same sort of drivability as a 4-cylinder. There's no complicated turbos or anything like that. And they're 1.5 as well, not 1000cc or 800cc and whatnot. So the drivability is superb and the fuel consumption is excellent. Now this car was last serviced with us in February, but we will put the car through the workshop, carry out anything that requires doing. I've got my critical eye on me this morning. There's a graze on that wheel there, which I'll have done, and on the other side front wheel. So the near side and offside front wheels do need a little bit of a repair, which shall be done. Now let's start round the back and work our way into the car. So you've got a very good sized boot. Now boots, for me, I used to think, why are people so bothered about boots on cars, you know, unless you have a dog or something. But since being a father, my son's now 4, especially in those early years, prams and things like that, you know, a boot was very, very important. For those of you who require a spare wheel, there is space for one. Okay, cars have been supplied without spare wheels for a long time now, probably all in the name of lowering emissions, and also there's a lot of people out there that probably wouldn't even attempt to change a wheel, but you can fit one there. You've got a really generous rear space there. All the carpets in great condition, and you've got ISOFIX anchorages on the two outer rear seats, so very family friendly. In fact, these are a really good all-rounder. They're small, but they're not small enough that perhaps you'd feel a bit intimidated on the road if you're doing long sort of motorway journeys, etc. You could literally go anywhere in this car. Okay, so there's the service history on the seat, which I'll show you in a moment. But the car's all lovely. Interior is in very good condition. There's no unpleasant smells. I love the colour. And with these later models, you had sort of chrome garnishes on the grills. Chrome seems to have made a bit of a comeback now, but all very nice indeed. Right, so you've got keyless entry, so you don't have to take your key out You don't actually press a button on the key to get in. You've got auto folding wing mirrors, electric windows, mirrors all round, traction control, lane departure warning, so it'll warn you if you veer out of a lane without indicating. A very clever engine start-stop system to save you fuel, but ultimately be good for the environment. And you've got a tyre pressure monitoring system which will let you know if your tyre pressures deviate or decrease, really, 4 psi or more. So let's start the little car up. So foot on the clutch, press this button here, and she fires into life. So the mileage is 32,582 miles. Okay, there's obviously no warning lights or anything on the dash, but look at that, 49.8 mpg, 50 miles to the gallon, at an average speed of 27 miles an hour. Okay, so super fuel efficient. And whilst we're talking about efficiency, sorry, that's not the screen doing that, that's my camera. I have to bring it back a little bit. Economy monitor. So let me show you. So being a mild hybrid, you've got a secondary battery. Look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells there. Okay, and what happens when you're slowing down, so any kinetic energy lost through braking, you know, coming down a hill, etc., will be stored in this secondary battery, which will then run all the other bits and pieces on the car, like the heater, wipers, stereo, etc. Less stress on the engine, which will then save you fuel. Okay, so if you are concerned about, you know, getting something that's better for the environment, this car definitely fits the bill. We do an all electric car, but I must admit, I don't think it's for everyone. I'm not a huge fan of electric cars or plug-in hybrids. I am a fan of self-charging hybrids and mild hybrid vehicles, because they give you a combustion engine which is super efficient. You've got air conditioning, and it is awesome. It hasn't quite got hot today, 14 degrees, but I do always check the air conditioning, and it's running beautifully. Now, this is another telltale. If your car doesn't have this little symbol of a smartphone, it doesn't have CarPlay or Android Auto, which could be an indicator of an earlier car. However, you can have this fitted as an accessory. But look at this car was registered 31st of Jan 2020. Now let me share the service history. So when the car was new, we did a PDI, pre-delivery inspection, at 2 miles. They come off the transporter with a couple of miles normally. Then a year later, did the first service, 9,143 miles. Year after that, 16,145 miles. And then only in February this year, 29,127 miles. So what's that, about 3,000-ish miles ago it was last serviced. All right, now the warranty has just expired on this car, the manufacturers, but the new keeper will get a year's Mazda ZZ Plus used car warranty. So that is a follow-on from the Mazda's manufacturer's warranty. Please don't get it confused with these other warranties out there that are, in my experience, not very good. This comes with roadside assistance, and this is roadside assistance that covers you for home. You know, it's not one of those ones you have to be away from home, etc. It's a comprehensive one, even covers you in Europe and covers all the passengers. And you have MOT insurance for the first year. So if your car fails its next MOT, then there are certain items that are covered, which is very good. Items that are never normally covered under the warranty. So there is real value in that. I have experience of people claiming on that, and it's been really good. For example, a headlight or something like that. So very, very good. As I say, don't get it confused with these sort of 3-6 month warranties you get out there. Okay, because the warranties are only as good as when you make a claim. Steering column, you've got rake and reach, see, and on the previous cars you'd only have rake. You've got automatic lights, automatic wipers. Let's go and have a look in here. So CarPlay, which I mentioned earlier. You can pair your phone up, and then stream music, but you've also got DAB, AHA Stitcher, so all the things that you really need in the car. In fact, I have to get a daily driver to get me to work and back, and I don't have a company car, and I'm really tempted to get something like this because this does everything I need it to do, and it will do it cheaply. And with all the rising prices of everything, really, I think it's a viable option. So once the phone is paired up, you can also access your call lists, your phone book, etc. And you've got a really good navigation system. Should you want to use this one, obviously once your phone is paired up and you're using CarPlay or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can use whatever app you feel fit. Find address, town or postcode, and off you go. Okay, all good stuff. Now these later cars as well have lane keep assist system. So we have a customer, and she's actually a colleague. She's been a customer for years, but she actually works for us now. Always has a 2. And I remember her picking up her new 2 and saying, the steering pulls, right, and a little light comes up on the dash. What it is, it's got lane keep assist, and it'll actually keep you within the white lines. A useful feature to have, I think. Kind of sort of corrects or sort of highlights perhaps that you're not paying too much attention when driving. And if you were to veer out of a lane, it'll also warn you. You've got parking sensors at the rear. Okay, you can actually have a camera fitted. It's sort of a plug and play system. I think the bleeps and this little display here, because it'll tell you where the obstacle's coming from, is perfectly adequate. Okay, so we've talked about warranty, and we've got great finance facilities, and these work out really well on a PC. Please do inquire, and we shall put some figures together for you. I just want to say about part exchange. Part exchange is extremely welcome, and I really do mean that, and you'll get the best deal with the part exchange. And we would like you to have a seamless buying experience. If you have a look at our used car offering, you'll see that we have all makes and models, and this is because they come in part exchange, because they get the best deal. You get the best deal with a part exchange, despite what these heavily advertised sort of companies tell you. I kind of disagree with them. So yeah, just inquire within, but please do punch your reg number in and do all those bits and pieces, as they heavily encourages us to do. So if you're looking at this car and it's outside our regular working hours, don't let that stop you from inquiring. Drop us an email or pick up the phone and leave a voicemail, and we'll come back to you. The used car market's very buoyant at the moment, so you know, just if you are interested in the car, just you know, get in touch, and let's see what we can do for you. Okay, we got a delivery service. You can do a video walk around, take more photos, videos of the car. You know, anything we can do to help with your buying experience. Now, if you've dealt with us before, thanks for considering us again. If you haven't, please do check out our reviews, and it will give you a good idea of what sort of people we are to do business with. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Bye bye.